happy with this lineup. I wanted to start watching the other Bennett sister. Firstly, didn't know that this was a love triangle. It is literally just nothing I've ever read before. And I have never been happier. I've been going through just a really huge reading slump, and so I thought in this video it'd be fun if I read all my 6-star reads while also doing all of my favorite things. So I'm basically just trying to give myself a huge serotonin boost. I'm hoping that by reading my 6-star reads I'll be able to get out of my reading slump, but I thought it'd be fun to go through my Goodreads and see my 5-star reads and then choose the 6-star reads that I'm gonna read in this video. Oh, but I know definitely one of the things that I want to read in this video, I'm gonna go grab it. Okay, so with the new Heartstopper movie that's gonna come out next month, I did rewatch all of the 3 seasons in preparation for the movie, but also I'm gonna miss that cast so much and I'm gonna miss the TV show so much. So while I'm waiting, I want to throw myself back into the Heartstopper world and kind of spend time with them before it all ends. I think there's gonna be a lot of heavy emotional stuff that's gonna happen with Nick in the movie. I want to go back and spend time with them in their more beginning stages. I did have another book in mind, and it's Edenbrook. That's one of my all-time favorite romance novels. It is a book that I often reread, but I haven't reread it in a while. So I definitely want to reread that. I'll go get it. So I have 2 versions of the book, and my cousin and I had a book club a while ago, and we chose our favorite books or books we wanted to read, and I chose Edenbrook as one of my favorite books I wanted to read together. And because she knows it's one of my favorite books and a hobby she picked up was bookbinding, she actually bookbinded me this book herself, and she also got me those stamps where you can personalize it and then stamp your own books. This is what the stamp looks like, and I did it on this book just because it's so special. She picked the cover and she picked like the inside cover as well, which is so cute and so on theme. So I definitely think I am going to read this book as well. And I'm so happy with this lineup so far because I love wholesome books. They're my favorites, and these are so wholesome. But I'm gonna keep scrolling on Goodreads and try to find more 6-star reads. I rate highly very easily, and a lot of books are 5-star, 6-star reads for me. Because Heartstopper is a comic, it's a bit shorter, so I definitely want to read maybe 2 more books on top of these. Because there are books I've reread before and they're 6-star reads, I feel like it'll be really easy to fly through. I love Tessa Dare books, and I know I really liked Do You Want to Start a Scandal? I don't really remember it all that much, but based on my review, I said that this places in the top tier of my favorite Tessa Dare books. So that's also an option. I think I found the next book that I want to read. My all-time favorite author, like of all time above anybody else, is Abby Jimenez. I have read every single one of her books. Every single one of her books is 5-6 stars for me. I've been meaning to reread this because I remember absolutely loving it, just like all of her books, and it's Yours Truly. I think I'm gonna add Yours Truly to the list. I remember that book definitely being a 6-star read for me, so that is being added to the list. I think my mood will determine which book I'm going to end up reading, but the 3 books I narrowed it down to is The 7-Year Slip, Play Along, and Love vs. the Scarecrow. I remember bawling my eyes out to 7-Year Slip, and I feel like that's why I haven't revisited it, but I think I'm ready to revisit that now. So I think I'll choose that if I am in the mood to cry. And Love vs. Scarecrow actually really scared me reading it, so I think I'll choose that if I'm in the mood to read something a little spooky. And then Play Along, if you know, you know, Isaiah Rhodes. I haven't reread this book since I've read it, but I remember that I love Isaiah Rhodes, so I definitely want to revisit it because I know that I'm forgetting a lot of the stuff that happened in the book, so it's definitely a high contender. But those 2 books are on my Kindle, and these 2 I will be reading their physical copies. I think I'm going to start with Heartstopper first, and I thought it'd be fun if we take this to my favorite cafe. They do Disney themed decor, and right now it's Tangled, and that's one of my all-time favorite movies, so I thought it'd be so perfect because it's a video of me doing all my favorite things, and I love going to cafes and getting cute drinks. I thought it'd be fun to take this book and then also take my journal because I definitely want to journal as well. I put everything I'm bringing into this tote that says always reading because it's so on theme for what we are going to be doing. And then I have my AirPods, my phone, and also my journal that I'm just going to throw in there. And because this is a special edition, I'm going to put it in this laptop sleeve just so that it has a little bit more cushion. Of course, I need my wallet and my keys as well. I'm just going to make sure I have everything. Last but not least, I'm going to throw in my lip products. And now I am ready to head out. came out of the cafe and I actually stayed there a lot longer than I was planning to. I think I was there for almost 3 hours. Now I'm at Daiso because I need to pick some stuff up, but I did finish the entirety of the first volume of Heartstopper while I was at the cafe. Nick and Charlie are just so cute. I don't know how I'm going to live without them. I think Heartstopper is one of my all-time favorite comic graphic novels, but to see it so well adapted into a TV show just literally blows my mind. Going back through the comic, it's just so crazy how well they casted the actors for these characters. They literally feel like they just came out of the book. And it's not that I forgot how cute Nick and Charlie were, but there's just so many more small little interactions that they have that are so cute. It just feels like a little bonus reading it because I forgot some of those smaller moments. I also completely forgot that Charlie had a younger brother, and I'm assuming maybe that's why they introduced the younger cousin in, I think it was season 3, with the whole Mario Kart and Christmas. Maybe to make up for that, because I know his younger brother isn't like the biggest character in the comics itself, at least in the first few volumes. It made me so giddy because obviously they're so cute together, but also made me so sad knowing that it's coming to an end, especially because the comics have also ended. I wish I could be in this world a little longer, but I know that I can always revisit it, but it is so sad. I have a hard time letting things go, so I know letting go of these characters is going to be extremely hard, but also I'm just so excited for the movie. I cannot wait to see how they conclude it, and it seems like Nick's story is going to be more of the focus for the movie, so I'm so excited to see his side. This world and the story just puts me in like the best mood, and it's so wholesome, just makes me so incredibly happy. I'm so glad I chose to reread this, and I feel like it was the perfect 6-star read to start off with. Now I'm gonna head into Daiso and I'm gonna go pick up a few things, and then I'm gonna head back home. And when I get back home, there is a fun favorite thing that I have been saving for this video, so I want to go home quickly so that I can share that with you guys, and I'm super excited about it, so I'm gonna make this a really quick run. Okay, I'm finally back home, and now onto the exciting fun thing I wanted to get to next is I wanted to start watching The Other Bennett Sister. I've been waiting for this to come out, and then when it did come out, I did not put my reminder on, and so I forgot that it came out, but I got reminded of it, and I've been saving it so that I can binge watch it, so I thought it'd be fun to start that today. And because I finished Heartstopper, I'm deciding on what I want to read next. I can either read Edenbrook or I could read Yours Truly, and then I also have my 3 extra choices, which is 7 Year Slip, Love vs. Scarecrow, and Play Along. But I honestly kind of think I'm in a Love vs. Scarecrow mood, so I might just go ahead and read that, and I think that will be my nighttime read. So for tonight, I think I'm going to start reading Love vs. the Scarecrow and then also watch The Other Bennett Sister, and I will keep you updated on what I think about both of those. So I did end up binge watching The Other Bennett Sister, and it was so good. If you watch Pride and Prejudice, you know that that story is based on Lizzie and Mr. Darcy, and Lizzie is part of the Bennett family, and the Bennett family has a total of 5 sisters, and this TV show was based on one of the other sisters, which is Mary. And because each episode was only like 25 to 30 minutes long, it was super easy to binge. I did stay up a little bit longer than I thought I would to binge watch it. I started a little bit late. I started watching it around 12 a.m. so I knew that I would be up for a little while watching it, but I love the characters so much. The way that they wrote Mary and the way that the actor played Mary, she was so lovable, she was so humorous, but she was also so compassionate. She saw the best in everybody and tried her best to find other people's passions and to find a relatability, and because she has been so outcasted her entire life, she has so much empathy for people who may not seem like they fit the norm or are looked down upon, and she gives so much grace to other people. If you have watched Pride and Prejudice, there are a few characters that feel a bit unredeemable or not very likable, but in the TV show they really give humanity and compassion and grace to these characters and kind of show the other side of them through Mary's perspective. And because she gets picked on and outcasted so much by her family, specifically her mother, it's so easy to root and feel for her, and I just absolutely loved her as a character. She's so sweet and kind, you can't do anything but root for her. I think I would maybe give it a 3.5 to 4 stars. It wasn't quite a 5-star for me me, only because I firstly didn't know that this was a love triangle. I'm not the biggest fan of love triangles to begin with, because I feel like a lot of the times to sell the love triangle, they really have to make the second male lead character really likable, and I feel like that's what they did for this one, and I just end up getting the second male lead syndrome, where I end up liking them more than liking the actual main love interest. I also feel like the main love interest and Mary didn't really have that much time together, so we couldn't really get to see them too much other than the few scenes that they have together. I definitely know and agree that she should have ended up with the main male lead character, but I really like how they wrote the second male lead character too, so I think just because a combination of all those things, I think I'll give it a 3.5 to 4 stars, but it was still really worth watching, and I had such a great time watching it. I love the editing style. It had this like Bridget Jones 2000s rom-com narration style as well, which I really enjoyed. But because I watched that, I know I said I was in a love versus a scarecrow mood, but I wanted to read historical romance after watching that TV show, so I ended up going ahead and starting Edenbrook. I didn't get very far. I'm only on chapter 3, but I also wanted to show you this bookmark. It's a tier of teacups, which I just thought was so cute and so on theme for this book. But also, you know how at the end of teacups it has like a little tea bag tag? It has one on the end of this too. I just thought this bookmark was so cute. But if you haven't heard of Edenbrook, Edenbrook is basically a story about our main character, female lead, and she basically has just passed her 1-year mourning period for her mother, and her twin sister and her has been separated because their father has gone off to mourn on his own. So her twin sister and her were separated through different family and friends, and her twin sister is thriving, but our main character lead is kind of struggling to be where she's at right now. And in the very beginning, she gets a letter from her twin sister inviting her to a friend's estate. Our main character's name is Marianne, and I believe her sister's name is Cicely. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that name. Marianne is just super excited to be able to get away from where she's in right now, and she is super excited to finally be with her sister, back with her family. Basically just follows her and her romance. When she goes to the estate, she meets somebody, and it's kind of about them two. Already starting this, I'm noticing that it's reading a bit younger than I'm used to with the books that I currently read, so that's really interesting to see, but it is still super good. We still haven't met the main male lead character, and I'm so excited to see them because them two together are so cute. So I will keep you more updated on when I get further along in this book. But another thing I wanted to talk about, I just saw the Love Hypothesis trailer drop and I watched it, and it is so good. The book community this year is getting fed so well. First we had Heated Rivalry, then we had Off Campus, then we had, I believe it's Every Summer After is out, and then now we have the Love Hypothesis coming out. I believe they said September. I actually put it down in my calendar, September 23rd. I definitely want to do a video of me rereading the Love Hypothesis and then watching it when it premieres, but I'm so excited. The Deal and the Love Hypothesis, when they came out, were probably like my favorite book of that year. I'm so excited. I feel like this is like a legendary year for book to movie TV show adaptations, and everyone is doing it so well too. I'm hoping that this ball just keeps rolling and we have so many adaptations to come out. The one adaptation that I'm specifically waiting for is an Abby Jimenez book adaptation. Like I've mentioned, Abby Jimenez is my all-time favorite author, so I'm just waiting for an adaptation to pop up, and when it does, I will not stop talking about it. Oh my gosh, also the reason why I was reading Heartstopper is we're also getting the Heartstopper movie next month. We have so many things to look forward to. I'm so excited for this year. But I'm gonna get back to reading Edenbrook, and then I'll keep you guys updated on the progress that I make. Right at chapter 3, I think they have finally met. I'm so excited for them to finally meet. And starting from now, I know that this is when they kind of take interest in one another and they start getting closer and closer after this encounter. So I'm so excited to continue on and read their romance. I want to give an update because I did finish Edenbrook last night, and I do believe it is called Edenbrook because in the book they said that it was named after the Garden of Eden, so I'm assuming it's Edenbrook. But this book is still so good. I think no matter what, this book will always have a special place in my heart. There are a few books where they're just irreplaceable to me in the way that they've taught me what my reading tastes are and what reading can be like, and Edenbrook is definitely one of them. This is just like everything younger me wanted, and it has some of my favorite tropes which is a flirty male main character. I love when they're super forward and outgoing and show their interest really early on. It also has my favorite trope where the male main character only acts a certain way towards the female main character and not like that with anybody else. I love how books can literally take you back to the time when you're reading it, and even though you may have changed, it can still evoke those past feelings and you can remember how you felt when you read it for the first time. I just love that nostalgic feeling. Also, I think this book just strikes a special chord with me because it has a sister dynamic, and I have two older sisters that I'm really close with, so I think just that loyalty mixed with shame and guilt, but also just the comparison and constant competition that other pit on you and your siblings, it can be challenging to go through, but also having that fierce loyalty that nobody can break and that bond of sisterhood I think is just really well written in this book. It's definitely not like the main focal point, but it is definitely a conflict that arises that I think is done really well. I still cried at the end of this book. I think there are just so many sweet, wholesome moments. If you love really wholesome romances that have not that much drama and it's kind of low stakes, then I think you'd really like this book. I will say though, if you don't like miscommunication, I do think this book can be a little frustrating, especially since the characters are a little bit younger and the female main character is very unsure of herself and her feelings. If you get frustrated with female main characters, I would take precaution in starting this book. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start reading Love vs. the Scarecrow, and I'll update you when I get further into the book. Last night I started Love vs. the Scarecrow and I wanted to give an update on my reading progress. So Love vs. the Scarecrow is a story set in the 2000s, and basically there's a small town that's kind of dying off. People are moving out. As the internet is growing, the farming industry is just not as profitable, and there's this one family in town who really prospers off the land of this town, and we're basically following the story of these two main characters who are trying to uncover the secret of this town and also the prosperity that this one family has on this one specific plot of land. But so far in the book, our main character has come across this scarecrow-like creature that she is just trying to track down and figure out what exactly it is. That's like a very rough summary. I just think this author is so incredibly talented. She is whimsical, but she is also so great at storytelling and story building and world building and also character building. It is literally just nothing I've ever read before. I just literally don't know how she does it. I will say though, if you don't like soulmates or one true love or like over the top male main characters, I might be hesitant to start her books because all of her books have that trope where it's he falls first and he falls harder. That's one of the biggest reasons why I love her books. I'm very much somebody who loves like werewolf, one true mate, soulmates, all of that kind of stuff, and her books do that so well in my opinion. And of course Love vs. the Scarecrow also has that trope, which I completely love and I fall for every single time. If you haven't read any of her books, I highly recommend it because I'm just having the greatest time. I definitely want to get further into this book and maybe hopefully finish it tonight. One of my favorite things is being out in the sun, so I thought it'd be fun to do a little bit of reading at the park, and I saw on my weather app that it is going to be raining all the rest of this week, so I really want to take advantage of the sunny weather today and be outside. It is monsoon season in Korea, so the weather can be really volatile, so I really want to make sure that I am out when I can be. I'm just packing up all my stuff that I need, and then let's head on out. So I decided to get boba, and my boba order is a black milk tea with pearl, and I like it 70% sweet with double the cheese foam added. I like my drink super sweet. I'm gonna mix in the cheese foam before I put in my straw. I always have this fear that when I do this, it's just gonna pop open and everything's gonna spill out. Okay, I think that's good. And I actually learned a trick from one of the workers at Gongcha. She saw me struggling to get the straw in, and she was telling me that if I put my thumb over the top and then jam it in, it'll go in a lot better. So I've been doing that ever since, and it really does work. It is so good. I haven't had this in a bit, so this is really hitting the spot. But now that I have my drink, let's head to the park. Also on my way there, you know, we have to listen to the throwbacks, so I'm listening to Click 5. It actually took a lot longer than I thought it would because I think everyone else had the same idea, and everyone was at the park that I was going to go to. There was absolutely no parking, so I came to a different one and I got a little lost, so it took me a while to find the parking lot, but I managed to finally find a parking spot, so now I'm gonna head out. I walked around down for a bit, so now I think I'm just gonna go find some place to sit so that I can start reading. Okay, I'm back in the car, and that was kind of a success and kind of a fail. I was trying to find the perfect place to sit and read, and there was a really cute egg chair, but there were a lot of bugs around it and surrounding it, and I'm really terrified of bugs, so I couldn't get myself to actually sit in that chair. And I tried just sitting on a bench, but it was too hot. A lot of the benches were just in direct sunlight, so I couldn't sit down for too long. So I just decided to do a couple laps around the park and just enjoy a walk, so that's what I ended up doing. And I think I'll save the reading at home, or I'm hoping to find a cute viewpoint to maybe read in the car. Yesterday I was unfortunately unable to find a viewpoint, so I ended up just coming home and then continuing to read here. So far I am 52% through the book, and I am on chapter 13, and I wanted to give a 50% mark update. Without giving too much away, we are finally starting to understand what is happening within this town. Our main characters are slowly starting to piece together the mystery. This is going to be such a niche reference, but if you've ever watched Supernatural or you're a Supernatural fan, there's a specific scarecrow episode that they have where they enter a small town, and there's like a cursed scarecrow spirit with sacrifices and these small town people who seem like really sweet on the outside but are doing things for very selfish reasons. This book literally reminds me of that one episode. It just feels like an extended version of that episode, and I'm enjoying it so much so far. I think this author just did such a great job of making it very spooky, but also not taking it too seriously. If I could give her books one word, it would just be fun. I feel like her books are literally the definition of having a good time. Like, you are never not entertained. I'm really hoping that I can finish this book today and then hopefully start on yours truly. Michael's so sleepy, Kate. So I finished Love versus the Scarecrow, and I loved it so much. I'm actually kind of sad because I wish I saved it for Halloween because I feel like it is the perfect Halloween read. But I have other Halloween books saved, so I think I'll just add this to the list so that I can read it next year maybe. I completely forgot the plot twist, so I was really happy to be surprised about that. And also I completely forgot that our male main character is from Seattle originally, and I am a PNW girly. I was born and raised in the Pacific Northwest, so that was such a happy reminder. This was a 6-star in terms of tone, setting, and writing, and just vibes overall, but I think because one of my all-time favorite books is by this author, which is The Kingpin of Camelot, I feel like it has an unfair disadvantage when it comes to rating it just because it's compared to like a 7-star book for me. So I feel like if it was compared to any other book, it would be a 6-star, but because this author has written one of my all-time favorite books, and that is such like a 6-7 star for me, I feel like this is a 5-star read. If you have not read any of this author's books, or if you have not read this book in particular, then I highly recommend it. It's just such a fun time. This book in particular, I just love the tone and the setting and the vibes, and I feel like I was just in that town while reading it. Now the next book that I want to get into is Yours Truly. I actually thought it'd be fun to see how long it takes me to read that book, so I'm gonna set up a stopwatch and start and stop it every single time I read the book, and let's see how long it takes me to read Yours Truly. I started the book and I'm only on chapter 2, and that took me 8 minutes. Yours Truly follows our main 2 characters, who are Brianna and Jacob. Brianna works at a hospital and is up for a promotion, and Jacob is new to the hospital, and he took a massive downgrade from his previous hospital to be in this position, and this is because he was working previously with his ex-girlfriend, who is now with his brother, so it was just too much for him, so he decided to move to a hospital so that he could just be in a new setting. That's where he runs into Brianna, and Brianna thinks that he's here to take the promotion that she wants, but through all of this miscommunication, they actually forge a friendship. But I wanted to talk about our male main character, Jacob, and I remember loving Yours Truly so much because of the anxiety rep, especially when it comes to social anxiety. All throughout high school and college, my social anxiety was extremely bad, and just seeing Jacob go through it, I feel like it just immediately connects me to the character because I relate so much because they've introduced Jacob, and also because we're in his head and we hear his monologue with his social anxiety and his overstimulation with just being in public spaces. It's just so relatable, and I already feel for Jacob so much. I just got to the scene where Brianna bumps into Jacob and he follows her into a patient's room to tell her that she kind of cracked his phone, and just that encounter did not go very well. And when he exits that room and just the way that he's thinking is literally so accurate. It's just so relatable. Actually, I'm diagnosed with OCD, and so ruminating thoughts are some of the things I struggle with the most, especially when it comes to feeling like I am a bad person. I know how I would be reacting in a scenario like this, and it's just so hard to read, but also I just want to tell him that everything is gonna be okay. I'm just rooting for him already so badly. I feel like when it just gets too hard to read in Jacob's perspective, I'll just be coming back here to decompress because I just feel so bad for him, and I feel like feeling isolated is one of the worst feelings, especially with everything going on in his life. This poor man is going through so much right now, and also Brianna is also going through so much on her end too. I literally cannot emphasize how grateful I am that I'm reading this with you guys, because I feel like if I was reading this alone it would be a little too much. I hate seeing people struggle, but especially because it's in a book and we are able to be in their minds, it just feels that much worse because we're experiencing it with them, and it can just be so hard to read sometimes. But I'm gonna just take a little bit of a break, decompress, and then I'll start back up, and then I will update you hopefully when I am at the 50% mark. Guys, I lied. I just need to talk about how cute Jacob is. This is one of my all-time favorite Abby Jimenez books, but I don't reread it very often because of the whole family drama aspect. Like, that part really gives me anxiety reading it, so it's kind of hard for me to reread. But Jacob is one of my all-time favorite main characters because of the anxiety rub, but also just because he is so incredibly sweet. And reading this, I'm just reminded of all of these sweet moments that he has, and just his way of thinking is so precious. This is definitely one of those books where you want to binge it and you just want to read it faster because you want to read everything that happens, but at the same time you hate reading it so fast because you don't want it to be over. I'm having such a good time. The scene that I'm at is when they finally start to exchange letters, and both of these characters are just so endearing. Like, they're both so compassionate but also so understanding of each other and their circumstances, and I just love how after they have a mutual understanding, how gentle they are with each other. And I think this is why I love Abby Jimenez's writing and her characters so much. There is just so much warmth, and she really cares about the small things. Like, the small things in life are what add up. It's not like one big declaration or these huge declarations. It's these small everyday things that these characters do to ensure that they live the most happiest and most comfortable life, and it's just so comforting and so warm. You can genuinely feel the care that the characters have for each other, but you can also genuinely feel the care that Abby Jimenez has for her own characters and how she writes them and their situations and the things that happen to them and the way that they're dealt with, and also how they treat each other. Like, I just absolutely love reading her books. Just make me so incredibly happy. I am having the best time reading this, and I have no doubt that I will be finishing this in the next 5 to 4 hours because I literally do not want to take a break and I just want to keep reading. I want to do a little update because I'm currently at the 55% mark, and it has taken me 2 hours and 37 minutes to get this far. So I want to give a halfway point update, and I'm just loving this reread so much. If you know anything about Abby Jimenez books, it's that all of her male main characters are literally the manifestation of if he wanted to, he would. I don't want to spoil anything, but with these two emojis, if you know, you know. I think I'm also just loving this book so much because of the anxiety rep. There are so many things that are going on inside of Jacob's head that are just so incredibly relatable, and I just absolutely love how fiercely protective Brianna is of Jacob. As somebody who is very not confrontational and somebody who used to be extremely shy and introverted, having somebody like that in your corner is literally such a lifeline. Like, having somebody like that is literally like the best thing ever, and the fact that Brianna is that for Jacob is just so incredibly endearing and just makes me so happy to read about. Of course, Abby Jimenez is gonna kill it with the romance. They are just so perfect for each other, and they're just so cute. And there's this thing that they say to each other where they promise to be harmless to each other, and I feel like that's literally the epitome of this romance. They are so tender and sweet and caring to each other. This is another thing I adore about Abby Jimenez books, is that the flow is just so good. It feels so natural, so genuine, and so authentic. Just like how the days go by and how their relationship progresses just feels like it would be a real relationship that's happening. And I'm particularly biased because my favorite trope is friends to lovers, and I feel like with this book it's even better because not only are they friends to lovers, but they're literally like friends to comrades to lovers. Like they have such a deep understanding of one another. I just want to update and talk about how I'm literally having the best time ever. I'm equally excited and devastated to finish this book because I just want to see them have their happily ever after and to see them together, but also I'm so sad to finish this book. The next update will be after I have finished yours truly, and also with a timestamp of how long it took me to finish the book. I am reading yours truly. It is so cute. It's making me cry. It's raining outside. There is a storm currently going, and I have never been happier. So I finished yours truly. I had a whole review, and I filmed that right after finishing the book. And at the end of the book, I profusely cried. So I scrapped that and I'm refilming it just because it was a lot to see. So after finishing yours truly, I'm just reminded of how much I love her books. I feel like there's this core theme and concept underneath all of her books. And it's just these two characters who are immensely struggling with the things that life throws at them. But through it all, they're just there for each other and to support each other and just to make their lives so much more comfortable and also to make the other feel so safe and so heard. I think that's what makes me so emotional when I read her books, is the fact that even through all of the things that life throws at the characters, they show up for each other and they do everything in their power to show the other person that they will always choose them. And there's a million other reasons why I love Abby Amanda's books and her writing so much. Specifically with yours truly, I just love the letter concept. I think that is so cute, especially how it comes together in the end. And I mentioned it so much, but Jacob's anxiety rep and just the way that he cares for Brianna is just so endearing, and seeing Brianna stick up for Jacob and be his voice when he feels like he can't be is also so cathartic to see. I had the best time reading this book, and of course it is a 6-star. I think all Abby Jimenez books are 6 stars for me. Just the way that she writes and the way that she develops her characters and the plot just speak to me so deeply. I'll always just love what she writes. But after finishing yours truly, I have finished 4 of my 6-star reads and I had such a great time. All of them are 5-6 stars for me. I know a lot of them were very popular books, so I'm sure everyone has read these as well. So I hope you enjoyed following me along in reliving these books. And if you haven't read some of these books, I highly recommend them if we share the same reading preferences. And I will see you in the next video.